All right, we
Well
are
sent, boys.
back for the part two of the series. Just continuing. We're gonna keep playing some 2K, and just keep going to casual talk. I think we decided we're gonna start on talk about some college basketball news because obviously we haven't been here for a couple weeks, so want to catch up on some college basketball transfers, commits, and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
big
Season
stuff happening.
starting. Well, not season starting, but November, October time.
Very
We're gonna get
exciting
some
off season
stuff.
for it.
A lot of transfers because of the new rule, obviously. A lot of guys coming back, which is very surprising. Some of these players
Yeah,
that
I
came
know.
back.
Johnny Juzang,
Yeah,
just taking
Johnny
one of
Jusing kind of
the most colors.
confuses me a little bit. Like I understand maybe like scouts are
And how
kind of
could he?
telling him, maybe second round
Yeah,
and stuff. I understand it. If he has another good
I
run
thought
this
he
year,
would
it's
have been
like,
a lock for like a lottery pick though after his tournament performance, dude.
yeah, I don't know.
He put that
Like
team on his back, man. Took him to the Final Four and barely lost to Gonzaga, the heavy favorite all year.
the one thing, and I said this the other day in our group chat that we got, the one thing that bothered me this offseason was Kofi Coburn, the center from Illinois. As we all
Yeah.
know, he was in the he was he was trying to go to the draft. He was trying to go in the transfer portal. He was in everything. He was part of the draft process and all that stuff. Like, but
Whatever, that's fine. Yeah, you
he
throw your
kept his
name in, you get the
eligibility.
feedback.
But here's the thing: you took advantage. So he entered the transfer portal because he ended up backing out of the NBA draft process. So he's going back to college. So I feel like when you're going to enter the transfer portal, now granted I don't know the details on it, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like if you're going to enter the transfer portal and give you a reason why you should leave and you want to compete elsewhere, whatever, do what you got to do. But the fact is, he did all of this for clout and got a lot of following because he's one of the better centers,
Yeah, he
better
just wanted
transfers,
his name to be thrown around.
and then he did all that just to go back to Illinois.
Just to return. Yep, just to go back.
That's like in the
I mean,
NBA, in the equivalent
that
of
does
like
make
what.
Illinois an exciting team, though.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent in the NBA. Remember, we all obviously witnessed the Kyrie Irving thing and the fiasco when he left the Celtics and the Nets. It's like what Kyrie did, except just imagine Kyrie went back to the Celtics. Everybody just thought he was gonna go, do whatever he wanted to do, leave, but then
Yeah.
he just surprised everyone and came back. Like it just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
I feel like
pretty much.
a lot of these players are very much taking advantage of this transfer portal. And I just don't think
Yeah,
it's
no, I think so
correct for the
too.
NBA. I feel like not the NBA, the NCAA should have put some sort of rule on it to make it a little bit harder, grant eligibility and stuff. Like, okay, you want to do this, you're
It's
just taking
just
advantage of the
okay.
system.
So they did say like people who haven't transferred who never transferred before will get the waiver. But the thing is, they're giving they're giving automatic waivers to everyone, not even just like people who transfer more than once. They're like granting appeals. It's like, it's just a free for all.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it'll still be very exciting. Like, I'm not mad about the transfers because I think the transfers has opened up college basketball to a different avenue of teams
You
that
know, it
are
makes
going to
sense
be
too, though.
very good next
Too.
year.
Yeah. There's like, I'll give some players some leeway though, because when your coach leaves and goes somewhere else, like I get that.
Yeah, like a Texas Tech kind of case where Chris Beard ended up leaving and going to Texas. So it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
if you committed there to Texas or you were there at Texas Tech at first, you're going to probably play for Chris Beard and play with some teammates. And now you're just
Yeah,
like,
because you're
well,
committed to him, not
half
necessarily
the
the school.
yeah, like half the reason why I came here is now gone. So I don't blame
Yeah.
those specific players like that, like if they left and stuff. Like same thing with Duke. Like I know John Shire is still an excellent, step in hire. That's fantastic. But I know a lot of recruits are going to be like, I'm going to play for Coach K because he's one of the most legendary coaches ever, and he's going to set me up for NBA.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be people that think that John Shire is not as good, obviously, which technically he isn't. So, it's going to be cases like that where you're going to maybe see some future Duke commits, go the different avenue just because Coach K's not there. And I think that's just a coach thing. But
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
now you can make money off your name. That's another big topic we got to talk about. Now, college athletes, and for the people who
NIL,
enjoyed,
baby.
college basketball video games, it is coming back. I don't know when. I don't know fully, the full rules and all that, but technically players can make money off their name now, so there's no reason for NCAA football and NCAA basketball to come back. One of the legendary video games
Hopefully
ever.
next year. I know those were the best.
So we'll see how that goes. Anything you want to keep adding on to our pile of talk, Mr. Kyle over there?
I miss college. I miss college football. EA 14. I can't wait for that to come back.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to see.
Like I feel like nobody's talking about it enough.
Basketball come back.
I know, really.
Like even if you really don't follow it.
Like
yeah, but the thing
it's
though
not
is
getting
I
like
don't
enough mainstream attention. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
I just don't have much faith that these game developers will bring back that nostalgic feeling like they did with the other games.
It's just kind of like, even if the game's not great, it's just more about the exciting fact that now college players are deserving what they should be getting. I don't want to be one of those boomer people that go, oh, they get the full scholarship, a full ride for a year, and they're getting free stuff and all that. Yeah, they are.
They're not there for the education, though.
These schools are also making millions of dollars off their name. Like, do you think Duke was getting millions of dollars off of just random basic Duke jerseys?
Well, it's always
No.
been so unfair, too, regardless, because, like, these kids can't even, like, get sponsorships and all that crap.
Yeah.
That's, like, the worst part. You gotta be, like, a professional and waive your status.
Yeah, like, think about like certain schools. Like, Duke had Zion Williamson a couple years ago. You know how much more money Duke would have made by getting a Zion Williamson jersey in their pro shop?
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
Even for local schools, like, let's say, we all know Providence College, and we all liked Chris Dunn, we all liked, David Duke, A.J. Reeves, like, a lot of those players, people in the area would buy those jerseys, but it's the fact that you can't because it's technically not allowed. So it's like...
Right. Yeah, everyone was rocking the fake ones.
Yeah, you had to go like on, a Chinese area on Amazon just to find a jersey that's like $40 and it doesn't really fit well. So,
yeah,
that's just a very exciting thing, and we'll get more into that maybe in other videos, but that's obviously just the base topic, because it just came out, so it's like, you're kind of just figuring out what a lot of these people are figuring out as well. Well, who was that? A lot of these players are signing with Barstool. I think, Kyle, you've been seeing that too, right? A lot of college athletes have been signing to Barstool recently.
Yeah, they're called Barstool athletes, and they just use their likeness and make money.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's really good for them, honestly, because there'll be a very good program, or I don't even know what you want to call it, honestly, but it'll be a very good team to get their name out there because they're very social media driven.
Right.
Well, and also their
Kobe, chill out.
The main reason why they are who they are is because of college students.
Yeah.
So it actually is very smart on their part. Yeah, they're actually going crazy over there. I don't know what's going on.
I know.
It's just Kobe, everyone. Don't worry about it. You're just happy. Somebody's home. It's all good. So...
Yeah, it's all good.
What else, Kyle? Do you got anything professional? It doesn't even have to be basketball anymore. We're just catching up on all news.
Well,
What's one thing you want to talk about?
One thing I do want to mention quick before we leave college basketball. With all the transfers and all all that stuff going on, who's your new top 3 for next year? What's your preseason?
Oof. Well, now that Johnny Juzang's back at UCLA and they have a very good recruiting class coming in, I would probably include UCLA in there. I would say they might not be top 3 rankings. It might, that's obviously going to depend on AP and coaches poll. Yeah, that's just going to depend on that. If I were to pick my preseason favorites to win it all next year, I'd pick UCLA. I'd take Texas, and there's always a sleeper team. So
Gonzaga too.
Yeah, Gonzaga's obviously going to be very good. Chet Holmgren's coming in and all that. So.
They really made you miss
you know what? I'm gonna sound a super homer, but I think Duke is due for a run, so I'm picking Duke. They might not be top 3 rankings, but they're due for a run. They're an actual deep team this year. And John Shire is technically going to be doing a lot of the coaching, even though Coach K is there for last year. But maybe a special last Coach K run.
My top 3 though is definitely Gonzaga at 1, UCLA at 2, and then Texas at 3. but my sleeper is going to be Oklahoma State. I think, having the same roster they did last year, returning most of the scoring besides Cade, and then you add five-star transfer Bryce Thompson, who was at Kansas, and the Memphis center transfer Musa Cisse. I don't even know how you say his name, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, two
Funky
great
name, but
players.
stud
I don't know what
player.
they yeah. I don't know what they're going to be in rankings, but like I think they're going to be a good team.
I do wonder, before we obviously move on, I just want to see how, like, it's going to be like, now it's going to be a normal off season, I think. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how that goes for teams that kind of struggled last year because, there was COVID issues. Like, I'm not saying the Providence Friars are going to come back to glory and making Big East runs and March Madness and that stuff, right? But I
Right.
just think teams like that who had high mindsets of that caliber and then not being able to really get chemistry going or a fit going on their team just because they didn't have time to practice and work together. So I'm interested to see how the college basketball comes together again. I feel like it's going to be a more competitive top 64 bracket this year.
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
I should say top 16 because obviously, top 64 is very tough. But
I think even
definitely
that's
top
going to be good
16.
as long as these mid majors hold their own.
Yep. So what do you think, Kyle? Any football topics you got going? We'll wait to do some hockey stuff because we got a specific little hockey group we do. So, what are you thinking?
It's been a difficult little stretch for football right now. There's nothing really much going on right now. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just kind of like
we never
the weird string, just like in between the
Yeah.
training, like the required training camps and like the opening practices. It's like you're just kind of seeing random basic news.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, like the
whatever.
only thing that they really have continued to talk about, like, is now officially that Aaron Rodgers has officially said he does not want to be in Green Bay anymore. Like,
It's funny you say that
now
though.
we
He's
know
cheering on the Bucks.
he just made it official like last week, saying that he does not want to be there anymore. Like, we kind of figured that, like,
Right.
but now, like, we officially heard it for him saying that he doesn't want to be there anymore. So I think that's big news, and I think that should be kind of discussed because we don't know what his future is looking like, where he could go.
No, absolutely. That'll be
It's so
exciting.
weird with Aaron Rodgers because it's like that's another thing we can add onto this too. Like he's one of the players. Like we should make like a list because there's a bunch of these guys. He's on my list of people that I enjoy watching outside of sports because he's just a cool person just to follow and he's an interesting guy and like he might do stupid things, like, especially if you're a Packers fan, you're kind of hating him right now because he's kind of being a little stupid, but. He's one of those guys that's so interesting. Like, think about how much more fun Tom Brady is in Tampa. Like, obviously, I love the New England. I'm a Patriots fan, no doubt. But you definitely could tell he was capped with his endorsements and how he talked and stuff like that. Now he's in Tampa. He's like free down there. Like he's
I know he is like
so much
he's
more
living his best
fun.
life down there.
Like I think Aaron Rodgers is taking a
Florida
page out of
effect.
that book. Like I think he's taking I think he's gonna give it and play one more year in Green Bay. But I think if it goes the way it usually does. I feel like they might look at it and go, you know what? It might be time to move on. Like, it legitimately,
Right, honestly, I agree.
we have Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. We want one more run. Like, we'll fix your contract. We'll give you $30 million. We'll give Devontae Adams top money, too, if he wants his contract fixed. One more run. And if it don't work, we will find a place for you next year, no matter what. Like, the Denver Broncos have Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Think about how interesting that
Gonna
team
bail
could be if
out.
they add Aaron Rodgers to that core of people and Noah Fant. So it's like, that's the team.
That would
Redskins
that would be
next
very
year.
interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Washington football team. Let me fix myself before people get pissed off. So,
I know, right?
um,
You're gonna get our podcast canceled.
yeah,
Bad
I'm
run
sorry to the
canceled.
people that can't, understand basic people in the world that happened, but whatever. So,
I'm a Terminator. You
just
can
think about how
destroy
good
us.
that team is next year. You got Diami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson.
Oh, that's
But
gonna
that
be really
team
exciting.
needs a quarterback, like a future quarterback that can last for a couple years. Like
They need to
Rodgers
bring
is
back
what?
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, Rodgers is what, 38. But quarterbacks like Rodgers and Brady, they're bound to last forever. They're going to be guys who play till
Yeah, pretty
Rodgers is going
much.
to play till he's 42, 43 probably.
They're the
Would it
most
surprise
skilled
anyone?
people.
No. Brady's 43 now. He's chilling. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's still putting MVP numbers. So
Yep.
That's just interesting to see. Like, what do you think ends up happening with? Like, I want to hear your predictions with what happens to Aaron Rodgers. Either of you go. Just bounce off each other.
I like what you said with Denver. I think that's an interesting fit. Get a nice young core of receivers, Sutton, Judy, a good defense.
And a team that's done it
You're
before, by
putting a
the
good,
way.
yeah. You're
Like, they
putting
went
a
out and
good
got
position
Peyton.
right off the bat.
They went out, got a loaded
Kinda
offense,
like,
and brought in Peyton. Like, why can't they do that again for Rodgers if they really want to go in for another Super
I
Bowl?
know, yeah.
I would probably say it's difficult. I figured it would just be easier because how many more years does he have left on that contract with the Packers?
Well, I think he's on a contract for this year and next year. I could be wrong. Someone should probably fact check me on that. But I'm pretty sure he's got a 2-year deal. But the thing is, he signed a long-term deal that he basically wants restructured.
What about Minnesota, too?
Yeah,
They
Minnesota
want to get rid
could.
of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, so it's like.
Yeah, but the thing though is Kirk Cousins isn't that bad though.
No, he's not. But hey, if you can get Aaron Rodgers, you take that.
And here's the thing too, like I'm not the biggest, Packers Rodgers fan because I was always a fan of Brady, and a lot of people used to always tell me like, "Oh, Rodgers so much better than Brady," all that stuff, whatever, right? But the one thing I always will be in defense of Aaron Rodgers is that they've never ever provided him consistent help. Yes, he's had good offensive teams, but he's never sat there and went, "You know what? I've had Gronk my whole career, and Julian Edelman and Wes Welker for a long time." You know what I mean? He had Jordy Nelson for a couple of years, but that was the end of his years, Jordy Nelson. He had
Cobb too.
Donald Driver. Randall Cobb was always good, but he was never a superstar. But he never had he never had like the consistency consistently. Like every year you looked at the Patriots, it was Brady, Gronk, and Edelman, or Brady, Gronk, and Welker.
Cobb.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it was always the same three over and over again, and a good coach.
Right.
He hated McCarthy. They kept McCarthy for a million years for whatever reason that was necessary. Now I think
because he won in their first Super Bowl in like 20-ish years, and they thought, "Oh my God, our Lord and Savior is here."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now they have LaFleur, which is funny because LaFleur I think is a very good coach. I think it's more like they see eye to eye, but there's definitely some times like remember last year in the NFC Championship game, and it was Patriots. Not Patriots, Buccaneers and Packers. I remember when they went for it on like that 4th down or something and didn't get it before halftime or whatever it was, and then it turned into a Scotty Miller long touchdown. Like it's stuff like that, like where it's like.
Right.
I think Aaron Rodgers is asking for some sort of a consistency or just common sense in the coaching game plan, and I feel like sometimes he just doesn't get it. And the Packers has just never been able to provide that to him. But now.
Yeah.
In like it is also contradicting myself, but he's always still had a good offense. Like he's like in the time he still had Aaron Jones who's a top tier running back. He's always had Devontae Adams for a long time. He's turned him into a star, but he's a stud receiver now just in general. I think any quarterback would love to have Devontae Adams.
You know what though, I gotta say actually, you bring up like when you mentioned the Bears, it made me think about rookie QBs this year. Which one do you think is going to be the best? Sorry to sidetrack you from.
Oh yeah. I mean, we talked a good amount about Rodgers, so whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, because a lot of these rookies are not really getting the chance right away. Because other than Zach Wilson, and Trevor Lawrence, nobody else is getting a starting shot right now. So it's gonna be very interesting. So if I were to pick between who's already there, I'm taking obviously Trevor Lawrence. He's got a better offense. And I think they have a better coach. Well, you never know how Urban Meyer is in the NFL, but I just think that makes sense. But if we're gonna put it into a hypothetical,
like Justin Fields a lot.
Yeah, like hypothetical, I think if you want to put it in terms of fantasy football, I think Justin Fields is the best quarterback in that draft, or Trey Lance, so basically Trey Lance is like Lamar Jackson. That's how he wants to play.
The only knock on him literally was the fact that he played at in FCS, not FBS.
Yeah. And then Justin Fields plays more like a Dak Prescott kind of guy. Like he has the wheels to move around if needed, but
Yeah.
has never needed to do that because he was just always so good with his arm, anyways. So I don't know. I would pick Fields, but that's just bias. I just like Justin Fields. Like fantasy football this year and our dynasty drafts and redraft stuff, I've always just picked Justin Fields. That's just me. If I were to pick long-term non-bias, I think Trevor Lawrence, just because he's given the keys to the offense immediately to fix his problems
Oh, yeah.
if necessary.
It's like, with his size too, how could you really be a bust? It's gonna
Yeah.
take a lot.
And the Jaguars are a team that has had some sort of success. Like, just remember, I know it's a different team,
Well,
but
he's got some good receivers too. Laviska, Shark.
yep. And then he's got Marvin Jones this year too.
Yeah, Marvin Jones too.
So there's no reason for him to not be good. But I don't know. That's just my.
Tebow.
And
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
Tebow.
Actually, I want to ask that question. It's funny you bring that up. See, this is why I like doing the casual talks. It's so many topics we can get our
it leads
opinions
us
out
into
there.
one thing into the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you guys a fan of basically Tim Tebow is a publicity stunt? Like, if I hope they prove me
Well,
wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It'd be cool to see Tim Tebow as a random tight end.
Yeah,
Don't get
but
me
him
wrong.
and Urban Meyer go way back too.
Agreed. But I feel like it's similar to the Patriots a couple
they
years
won a
ago.
national championship together.
Yeah, I feel like it's similar to the Patriots a couple years ago when they brought in Tebow when there was really no room for him.
It could be.
I just feels like a publicity stunt. Like, what do you guys think about things like that? Like, Brandon Jacobs, the former running back for the Giants. Remember he won the Super Bowl and stuff like that with them?
Right.
He wants to come back as a defensive end, and his reasoning is because Tim Tebow gets a chance at tight end. Why can't he get a shot at
Why
defensive
can't
end?
I? Yeah. Right.
So, I wonder how that this technical publicity stunt that people are legitimately agreeing on. Like, people don't think
What a
that Tim
position
Tebow
change,
should be a
by the
tight end.
way.
Yeah. Like, the thing is with Tebow, though, he's built like a tight end fullback. So I guess, his
Oh,
position
yeah.
change kind of makes sense. And he's mobile. So, how the Saints use Taysom Hill? Like, they can use him like Taysom Hill. Like, that makes sense.
I'll take the ball. I'm gonna cut in for alley-oop.
I'm glitching.
Yes, sir.
There we
So,
go.
Let's keep doing those.
alright, yeah. I
Yeah,
just
they're
think it's like, how do I explain it? Like, if they want to use him as a Taysom Hill
absolutely.
role, I guess it's not a publicity
It could
stunt.
work,
It
yeah.
just feels weird. Like, I feel like they're doing it intentionally to take
It
off
does
any
feel a little
type of
forced.
I feel like they're just taking off pressure from Trevor Lawrence, if that makes sense. Like, because now the story is about Tim Tebow in camp. This hasn't been too much
Yeah, because ESPN
Trevor
loves
Lawrence.
talking about random people like that.
Yeah,
they're
like-
obsessed with Tim Tebow, LeBron, Zion. Like,
Well,
you
yeah,
guys follow
because
them
Tim
all on
Tebow used to
Instagram.
work
You know what it's like.
work for them, so they're like, hey, it's kind of like a little bit of a favor going on here.
Yeah. So I just wonder how that's just gonna go. That's just my interesting take on it. I don't know.
Oh, good follow.
Like, I like Tim Tebow
No,
as
I
a guy.
agree.
There's nothing.
Yeah, he's not a bad.
There's nothing
you
wrong
can
with
say
Tim
bad
Tebow.
about him.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I have
He
nothing
seems
against him.
the
He's
type
a
of guy,
likable
too, who would
dude.
give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. It's just an odd signing when there was at the time where you could have gotten a veteran tight end or at least drafted one that was a reasonable one from college. Like, you just didn't go out and get one. So who knows?
Right.
Do you guys remember back when the signing of Tim Tebow happened to the Jags? Someone on ESPN said the Jags were being racist.
Yes, I remember that actually.
It's just so stupid.
People
the
just want
re-
to throw stories and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Their legitimate reasoning behind it kind of made sense. I remember saying there was a specific
No,
tight
not
end
at
available,
all.
but it's just
That had
in
nothing, that's just
context.
forcing a problem.
Yeah,
that had nothing to do with
in
race
context, there was
whatsoever.
just no reason for you to say it because it's just it's not
No, they
racist.
just want to throw those tabloid type stories out and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of our YouTube headline. No, I'm just kidding. Except we're not racist.
Oh, another thing. I know this is a totally different sport, but I want to remember this because this will be a quick opinion talk. What do we think about the Major League Baseball taking away basically rosin and sunscreen from pitchers so they can grip it? No, I understand. Like they banned like the illegal substances like spider tack. Like if you use spider tack and stuff, yeah, you're a pansy. Like you're a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you are.
You're legitimately cheating at the game because you're adding speed rate to your pitches, making them move more and stuff like that. That's cheating. That's legitimate cheating.
Isn't that amazing that does that though?
Yeah.
Just like
But
the
at the
physics behind it.
At the same time, the fact that MLB has now causing injuries because their baseballs are suck to grip. And yes, it sounds like crybaby pitchers and stuff like that. But if you played baseball,
But the players
the
are
baseball,
actually getting injured, though.
yeah, the players are getting arm injuries, elbow injuries, forearm injuries because now they have to choke the baseball. They have to hold the baseball much harder because they can't use rosin and sunscreen. If they use rosin and sunscreen, guess what? You're suspended. They don't care if it's not a real substance or not. They're suspending you. They're making you miss 10 days or 10 games, whatever it is.
All right, Papa Daddy, do your thing.
Oh, that's a computer. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, that's only a two. I'll call it timeout. But what's your opinion on that? Because I feel like the MLB just looked into it and it's like, oh, they're cheating. Let's ban everything. And then they'll realize after it's
that
like,
was too soon. They should have done like a full season of.
who was it?
investigation.
Was it Tyler Glasnow? I think on the Rays or something like that said it, and everybody called him a crybaby at first. But realistically, he was a pitcher that was using the legal substances of rosin and sweat. Which is, you sweat as a pitcher because you're pitching, and rosin is given to you on the pitcher's mound to use for that reason. So the fact is that you're not allowed to use those for what reason? I just don't know. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I can't wait with that.
This basketball game is getting way too intense. Hold on, everyone.
I know.
Let's
We
just
need to,
enjoy
like,
some
lock in here.
gameplay.
Josh, I see you. Shoot it. Oh, you
Shows
needed
her an alley.
3.
I know. Shit. All right, quick foul here. Even though we have no timeouts left.
We have lost the basketball game,
Ah.
ladies and gentlemen. But that's
Rip.
okay. We're not here to play.
That's what
We're not
happens
here
when
for
we're
wins
not
and
fully
losses.
focused.
We're not here for
No,
wins
we're
and
not.
losses. We're here to provide some sports content for you so you guys don't look at our ugly ass
I
faces.
didn't even realize how quickly we were making this a game.
Yeah.
Until, like,
I know,
there
we
was,
really had a good
45
comeback.
seconds.
But yeah, quickly, give me both your initial reaction / like your just a basic opinion on Rob Manfred as a commissioner of baseball, because he's just not a bright bulb.
He's not that good.
He's just not. He just doesn't know how to. He doesn't know. He's one of those people. He's like the 2K creator. They're the same person, basically. We're not going to listen to our fans, and then the people who legitimately play our game or professionally play our game, we're not going to listen to them either. And then we're going to wait for something
not
to
at all.
happen.
Why would they?
Yeah, we're going to wait for something to happen where A, the product fails, or B, something happens, aka Tyler Glasnow was basically out for the year because of an elbow injury, because now you went from being able to grip the baseball to having to throw way harder and causing more damage on your forearm muscles and your elbow. Now he has to get potential surgery, or he's out for the year, needs Tommy John potentially. So you might have just taken away 2 years of Tyler Glasnow's career because of your incompetency to run the game correctly. So
Now, what about this though? I will say this actually. I feel like the younger players in the MLB are going to take the league in a good direction though. Like, you know, there's a lot of marketable young superstars. You got Vlad
Yeah.
Jr., Shohei Ohtani, Tatis.
you know what? Hold your comments. Let's put that. We're gonna push this into
Yes,
part
to be
3.
continued.
Yeah, we're gonna to be continued. We're gonna end the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this second random talk of just catching up over the past couple weeks. We're gonna continue first topic in the part 3 of this series. We're gonna talk about the marketing in baseball,
Yeah, full send it always, boys.
of course.